the official podcast of Jonesboro Wrestling. My name is Robert Red, and I'm joined by Dean Chris Smith again this week. How you doing today, Dean?
I'm still fresh out the kitchen, like cornbread, but I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Well,
Let's get it up and popping, as I say.
It's another episode of the Power of Pro Wrestling. So let's get this kicked off as normal. This was a major historic week in professional wrestling, the launch of the WWE Network, stuff like that.
Yep.
And we obviously had a historic Raw, so let's kind of talk about your favorite moments of Raw from this week.
Wow. That's hard to pick, but I would have to say the craziest moment, not necessarily my favorite, but the craziest moment, of course, not only involving the Shield and Wyatt confrontation, but what happened with Eric Rowan dropped John Cena right there on that leg. That was atrocious. But, I mean, hopefully Cena does have a great speedy recovery. But I think that will be a big-time story, Shield and Wyatt's. And so far, Wyatt's are kind of getting the best of the mind games when it comes to Shield.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now, my favorite moments of Raw, as much as I don't like this guy right now, and we're going to be talking about him in our second segment, Hulk Hogan coming back to WWE and officially announcing that he's going to be the host of WrestleMania 30. I mean, that's obviously a memorable moment. It was funny because he botched everything, but that was a great moment. And then, obviously, at the end with Brock Lesnar doing the open contract and Taker coming back, and it looks like we have officially Brock Lesnar and Undertaker WrestleMania 30. I'm stoked about that.
And I think that's a match that even Dana White, whether he listens or not, or any MMA fan for that matter, I think that's a match that Dana White's even scared of.
Well, I mean, it is a good match. Now, let's kind of move on to Impact from Thursday night. Any great memorable moments about Impact that you really want to discuss?
Well, other than the awesome fans there in the UK, oh my gosh, wow. They have us in the States beat by a long shot.
Yeah, that is pretty sad to say. I agree.
But I would have to say, I mean, you really can't compare it, because TNA is really, really getting good, especially now with the whole Austin Aries joining Team Dixie. But we'll see what happens with that Aries situation. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, that was quite intriguing that Austin Aries helping Bobby Roode win, and which it's almost like the old saying, you're going with the devil that you know rather than the devil you don't know.
I mean, it could be a trap. I mean, Austin Aries is a master of the mind games. So is Bobby Roode. Could Bobby Roode be putting himself in his own trap, so to speak, thanks to Austin Aries?
Yeah. So let's move on to SmackDown from Friday night. Anything good that sticks out in your mind from SmackDown?
Wow. Crowd control. Daniel Bryan and the Usos have complete crowd control. And a lot of people don't understand what that is, but I'll go ahead and explain it real quickly. Crowd control is when you literally have the audience at the palm of your hands and your fingertips, and literally they're grabbing onto you. But I will say this one thing, and I mentioned it Friday night on SmackDown while watching SmackDown. Usos, great tag team, ton of potential, horrible closers. They can't close it when the timing's right. And granted, you can get all the wins on national television all you want, but when it comes to money matches, I mean, that's one thing they got to improve on.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you didn't go back to Shield and Wyatt's and that confrontation from SmackDown. And granted, it wasn't necessarily the most memorable thing, but that they're going to have a match on Raw. I mean, their Elimination Chamber match, amazing candidate for Match of the Year, in my opinion. I got to watch it live as it happened, so it was amazing. But Shield and Wyatt's is Monday night in Chicago.
Yeah.
Forward to that.
Chicago's going to be controversial. I can just tell you that now. But I tell you something we need to jump to, and something we need to do high praise for, and that's the NXT Arrival pay-per-view. Wow!
Wow, that was amazing. Now, expect a video from me about that. And hopefully maybe in the future we're going to start talking about NXT stars on this program.
But I tell you this, that pay-per-view did not disappoint.
Yeah.
It did not disappoint at all. Opening match, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, my gosh, tore the house down. But here's something I got to bring up. Paige, Emma, NXT Women's Championship. Bar none. And here's the thing that shocks everybody. That set out powerbomb, the fans in the audience were saying better than Batista. Ouch.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for this opening segment. But let's take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to get to our infamous 3 questions. Now, our 3 questions should be a barn burner for this one. So.
And you better pay attention when we ask these questions. That way you can give your feedback on it.
Yeah. So we're taking a commercial break, fans, and we'll be back after this. Are you looking to grow your business? If you are, well, then you're in luck. We here at Jonesboro Wrestling are looking for sponsors for our weekly podcast, The Power of Pro Wrestling. If you are interested in sponsoring this, you can tweet me at Robert Red Jr., or you can contact me via email at jonesborowrestling@gmail.com. Once again, you can contact me at jonesborowrestling@gmail.com. And we're back with the second segment here at the Power of Pro Wrestling. I'm still joined by my friend D. Chris Smith.
Yeah, we still here.
We are still here. So, as you know, the second segment is kind of like our discussion topic segment. So, I want to get this kicked off. Now, as we mentioned in the opening segment, Hulk Hogan coming back to the WWE and being the host brings me and leads me to our first question. Should Hulk Hogan have one more WrestleMania match? Yes or no? Go.
For nostalgic purposes and because of the audience he's in front of, which is typically a WWE audience, yes.
Okay, you say yes. Well, if you say he should have another WrestleMania match, who should he go against?
Now that would be the biggest question. That's too tough. I mean, the only thing that comes off the top of my head would be the game Triple H, just for the nostalgic moment. Or have a little bit of the Undertaker versus Hogan. No, from back in the day, almost like a WrestleMania rewind.
Okay.
But that's just my choices, in my opinion.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on this topic. I mean, Hulk Hogan, he's really past his prime. He's had surgery after surgery. I quite honestly, I mean, Hogan has contributed a lot to the business, but he's also been greedy and selfish in a lot of times. So I really honestly don't want to see him in a WrestleMania match just for the simple fact of his health and stuff, and I'm past him being a competitor in the ring. Now, if he did have a WrestleMania match, I'm surprised you did not go with this guy, considering you're a big fan of him, although I like this guy outside the ring, but as a character inside the ring, I could care less. He could drop dead. And I know I'm being harsh, but John Cena, Hulk Hogan, and that was even rumored for when he was going to come to the WWE, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, because, I mean, if you really look at it, John Cena, in a lot of ways, is Hulk Hogan of this generation. And he's positive, kind of like Hulk Hogan was with Say Your Prayers, Eat Your Vitamins. As John Cena is talking about hustle, loyalty, respect, some good traits, some good morals, and also rise above hate. I mean, he's a very positive person, just like Hogan. So, I mean, if Hogan was to have another match, I think John Cena would be best suited to have that one more match with Hogan.
Well, and John Cena made the excellent point, and it's a little bit of the page out of the Briscoe Brothers playbook when he says, "Hey, you know, if you really want to make your mark in the WWE, you have to go through him." So, I mean, on that part, I cannot disagree.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of enough for that discussion. So, let's move him and shift to Taker. Now, with The Undertaker, we, on a previous podcast, asked if his streak should ever be broken. And I mentioned we were going to have a follow-up question. Well, I think it's time with Undertaker coming on Raw and challenging Brock Lesnar is I said the streak should be broken, but say the streak is going to be broken. Who do you think should break the streak? Not who you think they're going with to break the streak if it is broken, but who you think should break the streak?
Brock Lesnar.
You think it should be Brock Lesnar? What's kind of your rationale for Brock Lesnar breaking the streak?
Brock Lesnar, simply because of the fact that when it comes to winning records over The Undertaker, whether it's a WrestleMania, whether it's a previous pay-per-view, when it comes to wins, I'm talking actual wins, because now in this age, wins matter. Brock's got him. Brock has beaten The Undertaker before, multiple times. He even beat him in Hell in a Cell. And that was on a pay-per-view, a SmackDown pay-per-view. And during the very same week, on the following SmackDown, he earned The Undertaker's respect because he beat The Undertaker in his own yard. No one else can put up a fight. All due respect to CM Punk. All due respect to John Cena. You need somebody that's a ground and pounder. Brock is the perfect equal to The Undertaker when it comes to that. Brock's got it.
Yeah, and I mean, you do make good points with Brock Lesnar breaking the streak. I mean, he is the person who seems to be most suited, and with the points you brought up, that he does have the most winning record against The Undertaker. But I've kind of contemplated this for years now as to who should break the streak. And I've always had two trains of thoughts on this. It should either be an established guy like a Triple H or someone like that, or it should be someone who's like a new star. And
but
to me,
look how many times that Triple H has faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
that's true.
Claiming he's going to stop the streak. Has not done it.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, you speak from facts. And I mean, I've contemplated this way before Triple H Undertaker was ever set in motion the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, and I guess over the years, kind of my train of thought or kind of my opinion on the subject has changed. And really, I think if you are going to break the Undertaker streak, it should be an up-and-coming star that you make. Not necessarily a Daniel Bryan, but someone who's kind of stuck, who hasn't shattered that glass ceiling yet. Someone like a Kofi Kingston, not necessarily Kofi, but someone who you've not made at that next level. That someone who's been stuck at, who's there but not there. Maybe even a Miz.
They got to be able to carry. They got to be able to carry it.
Yeah, and
I mean, because you can bring up all the big time names you want, and Kofi Kingston's one of them.
Yeah,
no question about it. He can bring it up, but you got to have somebody that's going to be equal, that can literally scout the Undertaker move for move, hole for hole, knows what he's expecting.
Yeah,
and you got to have somebody who can carry a long match too.
Yeah, and I mean, that's true. And I mean, for that simple fact, a lot of people, like you read on the internet wrestling community and stuff like that, and a lot of people say that's the reason why that the Undertaker streak shouldn't be broken, is because if it is broken and by somebody, just the hype that they're going to have to live up to, because they did beat the Undertaker, whereas the Undertaker's beat all these other guys. I mean, you look, he's beat Kevin Nash, he beat Giant Gonzalez, Triple H, he's beat all these big names, Shawn Michaels, that, I mean, they couldn't live up to it. So, I mean, really, like I said, there's no superstar suited, but I would like to see an up-and-coming star beat
and with
the
all
Undertaker.
due respect to Batista may try to put up a fight, but he cannot put up a fight like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. But let's kind of go, and we're going to, our last question.
Man.
I know you're foaming at the mouth, so I'm going to let you ask this one.
Well, and this is in regards to payments, or paychecks, however you want to slice it. With TNA World Champion Magnus, with Ring of Honor World Champion Adam Cole, with WWE World Champion Randy Orton, here's the question. Should the world champion be paid more than everybody on the roster?
Well, you want me to take this and start my answer? Start this off, then?
Start with your answer.
Well, in theory, in actuality, your world champion is supposed to be your best guy. And I think we're probably going to agree with this answer. I think definitely the world champion deserves to be paid more, because he is your top star. He's your top tier talent. He is your champion. He is supposed to be the best. So his pay should reflect that. Because like your best worker at a job should have the best pay, or maybe I should say the longest tenure. But since this is wrestling, your best performer should be your world champion. And go, if he's your world champion, he should make more money. So I mean, I think that he should be paid more.
Depends on how. Because here's the thing, and I've actually had the opportunity to break this down with Nigel McGuinness as far as world championship pay is concerned. Here's why I say yes for this reason. And Bully Ray and AJ Styles and everybody who's been world champ, including Jeff Jarrett, can attest to this. Pay-per-view buys, 1. 2, you're putting butts in seats. And it's not, granted, everybody's coming to see the show, but the world champion is highlighted. What's the point of trying to fight for the championship if you don't want to be a world champion? In any company, doesn't matter if it's sports entertainment, WWE, or any sport for that matter, What's the point of competing for the world title if you don't want to be the top dog and don't want to be paid more? Because think about it, the world champion gets paid more than everybody else. Not just that, not just merchandise buys, not just pay-per-view buys, but we're talking even in Ring of Honor with them having Sinclair. Television time. You're on multiple stations promoting your event, your next title defense. So you're getting a lot of TV time here. Champs should be paid more.
Like I said, I'm definitely in agreement, and a lot of times the show is showcased by the world champion. That's a lot of reason why people come to the show is to see the world champion.
And you want to compete to make sure that you want to be the world champion, because if you don't want to be the world champion, if you don't want to be paid the big money, get out of it.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for this segment, and I think we had a good discussion on these topics, so we're going to come back with our Indie Spotlight. And once again, ladies, you're in for a treat this week. So we're going to take
part two.
Yeah, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back after this. So stay tuned, guys.
Are you looking to grow your business? If you are, well, then you're in luck. We here at Jonesboro Wrestling are looking for sponsors for our weekly podcast, The Power of Pro Wrestling. If you are interested in sponsoring this, you can tweet me at Robert Red Jr., or you can contact me via email at jonesborowrestling@gmail.com. Once again, you can contact me at jonesborowrestling@gmail.com.
And we're back with the Power of Pro Wrestling, and we're here with the Indie Spotlight. Now, I think this is probably going to be our last Indie Spotlight. We have something planned new for next week, but we'll see how it goes. So, D, I'm going to let you introduce the promotion we're talking about this week and kind of give you your time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, first off, thanks so much for always supporting the Power of Pro Wrestling podcast. That's first and foremost. Last week, for you ladies, we talked about Shimmer. Well, we're going to stick with the ladies. And this time it'll be Shine. Yes, the Shine promotion. Of course, known as Shine Wrestling, Shine being all capitals. Or you can just call it Shine. Established in 2012 and founded in 2012 by, yes, the man who also founded the Shimmer Wrestling promotion, that being Dave Prazak. And now him and Lexi Fife, yes, Lexi Fife, F-Y-F-E, now holds multiple events, including internet pay-per-views. Well, this is another one of those awesome, and I mean awesome, female wrestling promotions in the world today. Current Shine champ, Ivelisse. If you remember Ivelisse, you probably remember watching the Tough Enough version with Stone Cold Steve Austin as your host. And you've also seen her on TNA Impact, not only just for Gut Check, but for one night only pay-per-views, so forth. But Ivelisse is the current Shine champion, especially coming off an awesome title defense. Tag champs, Mia Yim, Leva Bates, known as the Lucha Sisters. And you want to talk about some list of female competitors? Oh, check this list out. Some of the competitors in this company featured are Angelina Love, of course. For you indie guys, you know her as Angel Williams. Brandy Wine, Cherry Bomb, which you've seen on Ring of Honor. Christina Von Eerie, one of my favorites. Oh, here's a Hall of Famer for you. Malia Asaka. Yes, Malia Asaka. Many of you may know her from the WWE, early WWE, when she also competed in the women's division. TaylorMade, Mia Yim, Mischief, wow. And managers, Daphne, of course, from WCW and TNA. April Hunter, WCW. And how about this for an all-star cast of characters who've been in Shine for a long time, or even been through Shine, like Amazing Kong, known as Awesome Kong, Leah Von Dutch, one of my favorites. I mean, Taylor Hendricks, Veda Scott. Matt Hardy would like this individual. Rebby Sky. Jamie Jameson. So much talent comes right through. Oh, here's one for you. Sarah Del Rey, Rain, Nikki Rock, Santana. I mean, just to even go through this list would take about a good 3 hours or so. But if you want any information on Shine Wrestling or just any competitor in Shine, go to their website, ShineWrestling.com. I'm going to repeat that, ShineWrestling.com, and catch up with their last pay-per-view that they had, Shine 15. And that is Shine for you.
Well, thank you, D, for our indie spotlight. Now, we're going to hopefully try to do something different next week, but that's really all the time we have left with the Power of Pro Wrestling podcast. Now, I do want to end on this note. We are still looking for sponsors, so if you want to tweet me,
Please sponsor us.
if you want to tweet me, Facebook me, stuff like that, feel free. We are looking for sponsors, and that's really all the time we have left on the Power of Pro Wrestling, the official podcast. So for Robert Redd and you're the Chris Smith,
You bet I am. We got to get out of here.
we got to get out of here. Catch us next week on the Power of Pro Wrestling.
See ya.